What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to give you guys a little market update as I'm unable to go live tonight, unfortunately. So I didn't want to leave the CandleMafia in the dark. So I just wanted to make this quick little market update to give you guys an idea of what I'm thinking about the markets, because we've been looking at those higher time frames, looking for those bullish setups to start to print. And we're starting to see that happen, so I want to go over that. And I also want to let you guys know why I'm being cautiously optimistic with those bullish signals, because not only are we in a bear market, but we do have some other things popping up that, of course, might give us a little bit more mixed signals, like we haven't gotten enough of those in the recent past. I do just want to show you guys what I'm looking at. Then I'm going to give you guys the levels I'm watching, and I just want to break down some of the previous price action that we've had recently, and kind of how I've been handling my trades as we get these mixed signals, and we're just kind of in this choppy price action. I'm going to show you guys how I have been able to profit off of this, as well as some of the CandleMafia. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the chart so I can show you what levels to watch and whether I'm bullish or bearish on Bitcoin in the long and the short term. Let's get into it. So here we are. I want to start over on the weekly chart for Bitcoin, guys. I'm going to go ahead and turn off this VPVR. And I do just want to point out for the 7,462nd time that we do have that second confirmed yellow X on the weekly time frame, which, guys, please just know that these could wind up playing out very bearishly. Now, we've never had yellow X's pop up on the weekly chart before. However, they actually have popped up after we have hit the bottom before on other higher time frames. However, please just understand that these are very powerful bear signals, so you just don't want to forget about them. Now, another bearish puzzle piece that we have here in the longer term is going to be the money flow coming down on the weekly time frame. So I would like to see this money flow start to round off and come to the upside. So as long as this is coming straight out like this, I have to look at it and take it into consideration as a bearish puzzle piece. So second yellow X is confirmed. Want to be aware of that, and money flow coming out, you want to be aware of that as well. But now coming down to the higher daily time frames, let's take a look at the 4-day, which is one of the time frames we were looking at in the recent past here, the past couple days, looking for these bullish setups to start printing. And that bullish setup is price making lower lows as your momentum waves are making higher lows, and we are now printing that green dot on market cipher B. Not confirmed, does not confirm for another 3 days and 2 hours. However, if this confirms, this would be a very bullish setup, guys. A bullish divergence on the 4-day would be a very bullish setup. And if we are going to pump up to about 30K, which is what everybody was expecting the last time we had that big move to the upside, if we get that move to 30K, this could be the catalyst for that if it confirms. So 4-day bullish divergence, definitely a very, very bullish sign if confirmed. Now, you do want to remember you're in a bear market. You always want to, realize that the bears can come out at any time in a bear market. But if that confirms, that would, on a technical level, be a very, very bullish signal. Same story is being told here on your 3-day with your lower lows and your higher lows on market cipher B, with that green dot being printed currently. When we were looking at these the other day on the BitBoy Crypto morning stream, you will know that these green dots were not printing yet. But now that these are starting to print, they're getting closer to confirming, and we do have an hour and a half left until this confirms, and it looks like it could confirm. Now, coming over to our 2-day, money flow is coming up, so that is also not a horrible sign. However, we did have a bullish divergence here on the 2-day as well, but didn't really wind up getting too much juice out of it. You could see we came up, but for a 2-day bullish divergence, I would have expected a little bit more of a fireworks show than just a little 8% move. You could see right here the last time we had a bullish divergence. Granted, this was a much more aggressive bullish divergence with a massive lower low being set here and a slightly higher low being set here. But you could see that resulted in a more aggressive move of about 45%. So not really getting too much out of this 2-day bull div. Let's hope that if this rolls over into the other time frames, that we see those higher daily time frames play out a little more than the 2-day. But if those daily bull divs confirm on the 4-day and at the 3-day, and they play out like they did on the 2-day, that would be very, very lackluster, but also very expected in a bear market. You guys want to remember, in a bear market, those bullish setups don't always play out as well as they do in bull markets. Now, coming down to the daily, Again, same story here. You had that bullish divergence on the daily with a lackluster response. Another reason that I am approaching cautiously optimistic for the bullish case. Again, those higher time frames with the bull divs is very bullish, but the fact that they're not playing out on the daily or the 2-day very much, it's kind of making me think that they might be lackluster on those higher time frames as well. But there's nothing to do but to wait and see. So coming on down to your 16-hour, your money flow is generally coming up, but your VWAP starting to roll over. And as we work down these lower time frames, guys, you will see the shorter term is looking a little bit more bearish. Your 12-hour VWAP is above the 0 line, but that could potentially roll over. But money flow is generally coming to the upside, which would be more bullish in the longer term, but that VWAP could cool us off in the short term, or could also be very indicative of some sideways action. However, your 8-hour looking to print that red dot here pretty soon. That's probably going to cool us off a little bit in the short term. 4-hour red dot is printing. 5-hour red dot is also printing. Now that we know our 4 and 5 hours are printing red dots, which we will expect moves to the downside, let's go ahead and look at those lower time frames. Check out that money flow, because we know if that money flow is coming out on those lower time frames, we could expect a further move down. Starting off on our 5-minute, money flow pretty deep in the red here. You're actually starting to set up some bullish divergences here for a potential short-term bounce. You see your lower lows, and you can see yourself making higher lows. You want to remember this is the 5-minute chart, so a bull dip on the 5-minute chart is not going to really bring you up that much, but could indicate a short-term move to the upside. But generally working our way up here, looking at your 12-minute money flow deep in the red, also setting some bull divs up here, but you do have a yellow X. Your 15-minute money flow is coming out. That's looking a little bit more bearish. 24-minute money flow is crossed over into the red. 30-minute money flow crossing into the red as we speak, as you can see right there. So between that 5 and that 4-hour red dot with the 30-minute money flow coming out and the 15-minute money flow already in the red, I would expect a potential continued move to the downside in the shorter term, until hopefully we can get those higher daily time frames to confirm those bull divs and start to drag us back to the upside. So I do want to bring you guys over to the 15-minute chart, and I just want to break down some of this price action to show you guys kind of how I've been handling this market with all this choppy price action and those mixed signals all over the place is super, super frustrating. I'm sure you guys are feeling that frustration as well, but kind of what I've been doing is kind of hanging on those lower time frames and just scalping my bags super short term, right? Jumping in, grabbing that bag, and jumping out. And I'm going to show you exactly how I've been able to do that successfully alongside the CandleMafia on my live streams. So you can see here, this is going back a little while here, but I do want to break it down because I think you guys can learn something. One thing I always preach is to have a trading plan and have your key levels set, right? You want to cast that net. Throw that net out, wait for price to approach your key level or your net, and then once it's at your key level, you want to look at your other indicators and your other TA and look for bearish or bullish confirmations. In this case, on the 15-minute, we approached into key resistance and started to put higher highs into that key resistance. But when we came down to market cipher B on these lower time frames, like the 15-minute, we had momentum waves making lower highs, creating a bearish divergence between your price and your momentum, as well as your money flow coming out is a pretty bearish sign. And we took this trade and we rode this thing down. Targeting the POC was our first take profit. We took some profit, left some in, then rode it all the way back down to that value area low. And if you guys watch the channel, you guys will know that these have been the key levels we've been watching for quite some time. And we know when we break that POC, it's likely to come down to that value area low, and we got that move for a nice 6% with a little bit of leverage. Always trade responsibly and don't use leverage unless you're an experienced trader, but we were able to get a nice move off of that 15-minute bear div into key resistance, played out beautifully. We were able to profit off of that, and then you can see right away as you come down to the value area low, we actually put in lower lows on your price. You have a low here, and then you have a higher low right here on market cipher B, giving you a bullish divergence with your money flow starting to come up. You could have taken the trade here, or you could have waited for price to hop on top of that value area low right here at 18,825. We know once you find support on that value area, it's likely to go back up to that POC. And what happened? We came down, put in that bull div indicating we might reverse, caught support on that value area low, and wound up getting a nice little 5% move because we knew once that value area low acted as support, we could ride it up. It was likely we would come up to that point of control, and it came right up to that point of control, almost to the dollar, as you can see. And once you get up to that POC, we actually put in another bear div here on the 15-minute into that key resistance, and you have your high and your lower high on market cipher B, giving you the bear div. You take the trade, and this trade I actually took on my live stream with the CandleMafia right there. We took it live, and we wrote it down, and once we were unable to break through this point of control, we knew that it was likely we would come down to the range lows at 18,825, your value area low, and we took it, kind of bing-bonged around. You want to remember price action's messy. Boom, boom, boom. And then we came right down to the value area low. You can't make this stuff up. And as we approach that value area low, which is our net, that's the key level we're waiting for price to come to before we make a trade. We don't just want to YOLO or FOMO into trades. We want to wait for price to do what we want so we can get into the highest probability trade possible. And as we approach that value area low, you start to fish around these lower time frames looking for bullish signals. And who knew? We actually came down and put in a bullish divergence here on the 5-minute. Now, I don't believe I actually took this trade, but I did see it. We make a low, a lower low, you make a low and a higher low on market cipher B coming into your key support, and you get a big bounce to the upside. Right here, you would be targeting your POC. And we actually came right to the POC and smashed right through it, coming up to our next level of resistance, which was coming in at about 20,126, came right up to that key resistance. And I don't typically trade off the 1 minute, but if you came to the 1 minute, you could have seen these massive bearish divergences forming with all of these higher highs and your money flow coming to the downside. You could have taken that short and rode that thing all the way down. Now that we've been unable to cross over the point of control, we came up a little bit, lost it. We started banging our head on the POC, could not get above it, printed this 10-minute blood diamond, and we eventually crashed down. And until we can break above that POC, because of the way volume profiles behave, I would expect to potentially come down and revisit the range lows at that value area low at 18,825. So with that being said, guys, I want to give you a couple of levels that you could watch on Bitcoin. I kind of just went over them. Your value area low is key support at 18,825. So if we continue down, that would be a likely place we are headed. If we do break to the upside, some levels I would be watching is going to be that POC, obviously, at 19,771. And if we can break above that, if we can get our way above that POC, flip it to support, the resistance remains at 20,126 and about 20,400. And then you want to realize that if you pull up your VPVR and come to a little bit higher of a time frame, I do just want to point out that if we break through that 20,400 level, we do have a little bit of a volume gap up until about 20,700. If we break this level at about 20,400, we could get a quick shot up to about 20,700 and 20,800. So these are some key levels I'm watching, guys. You guys also want to remember, if we do lose that value area low at 18,825, we do have a last resort support at about, which is this spider line coming in at about 18,665. And this spider line has saved our butt quite a few times as we lose that value area. We've found support there many, many times. So hopefully it could hold if we wind up breaking that value area low. But before I let you guys go, I do just want to go ahead and pull up the SPY, because this is one of the reasons I'm proceeding with caution. Even if those higher time frames on Bitcoin confirm those bullish setups, I am going to continue to proceed with caution, because as you can see here, we are starting to lose this very important level of support on the SPY, which could wind up turning out pretty bad for Bitcoin. The one caveat there is that as the traditional markets have been getting wrecked lately, and the DXY has been absolutely skyrocketing, Bitcoin's kind of just been hanging out, right? Bitcoin's actually been holding up pretty well when it comes to looking at what these traditional markets have been doing, especially with that DXY absolutely ripping to the upside. It's very, very insane to see Bitcoin actually hold its level at 18,825. So I am going to proceed with caution because we're losing these levels on the SPY. However, you want to remember that Bitcoin has been holding up pretty strong. The question is, how long can that last? Now, guys, before we finish up here, I do want to look at Ethereum because I am leaning a little bit more bearish on Ethereum than I am Bitcoin. And the reason for that is this money flow coming to the downside on the daily time frame. Now, on Bitcoin, it is already in the red, looking like it could come to the upside. But for Ethereum, it is just starting to come to the downside, looking to cross over into the red. And that is the number one bearish puzzle piece that makes me lean more bearish on Ethereum than Bitcoin. And that second bearish puzzle piece is going to be that 2-week printing the red dot on market cipher B. Now, we do have 9 days to confirm this, so you want to remember it could get invalidated. However, money flow is coming out and printing that red dot. The VWAP on Bitcoin does look like it's coming down, but it's not printing that red dot just yet, so I have to lean a little bit more bearish on Ethereum. Now, I do want to come down to the 15-minute chart and just give you guys some levels to watch. And that number one level to the downside that I would be watching, or the first level, is going to be at 1321. If we lose that level due to a volume gap on that VPVR, we could get a quick move down to about 1309. If we lose that level, we are probably going to get a quick drop down to this golden box coming in between about 1298 and about 1287. Again, a quick drop because of those volume gaps on the VPVR. And if things go apocalyptic this weekend and we get a big drop down, I will be looking down to this range between 1249 and 1223. So guys, I think that's all I got for this video. So just remember, those bull divs on those higher daily time frames for Bitcoin could wind up being a very bullish sign. However, you're going to want to wait for those to confirm, and hopefully those can play out a little bit more than the bullish divergence that we had on the daily, which was kind of just like, wah, kind of just flopped over on itself. So that's the bullish case. Again, with the money flow coming out on the lower time frames and the 5 and 6 hour red dot, I do think we can come down in the short term, but if those bull divs confirm on those higher daily time frames, things could get pretty exciting. So guys, with all that being said, that's all I got for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Frankie Candles out.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah, we winning by a landslide.